so we can tell stories. Hi everyone, I am Aunty Ortiz. I am one of 12 of Aunty Pua's nieces. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about Aunty and also share some of her stories through her wonderful life journey. Okay, so Aunty was born Elizabeth Pualoha Kaho'ivai to Lealoha Kekuewa and George Kaho'ivai on September 9th, 1935. So her early childhood was mostly in Kaka'ako, where she lived with her mother and grandmother. Aunty spent most of her she was mostly raised by her grandmother, Hannah Bell Ke'oho Lincoln. Yeah, okay. Well, both her parents worked and eventually divorced when Aunty was very young. Aunty, can you share a story about your grandmother?
My grandmother was Hannah Lincoln, and I was very close to her. Daddy would drop me off to babysit me while my mom and daddy went to work. When he came to pick me up, I didn't want to go back home with him, and I would cry all the way to Kamiki where daddy lived, and it got so bad that he had to bring me back. So they made a deal and asked if I could keep me, and she said, of course. So the two of us lived in Kaka'ako, and I was very happy. We witnessed the war when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. I was 6 years old. Grandma was braiding my hair. I was getting ready to go to choir hall church with my father. And Grandma had crocheted a white dress for me, and I wore that every Sunday to church. I was very close to Grandma. She was a very kind woman. She taught me to be nice to others, to be kind, don't use bad words. And I was just, 6 years old, 7 years old. So she taught me a lot of ways to raise myself and be good. And when I joined the LDS Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a lot of their upbringing of the members of the church reminded me of my grandmother's ways too. And I'm very delighted and very happy to be a member of that church. Anyway, as I lived with the grandmother, and it was during the war days where a lot of food was rationed, we stood in line for butter, bread, and even poi. Poi was only delivered once a week from the factory, and we had to stand in line for that. Well, poi would sell out so quickly, so we got somewhere. We lived right around the corner from the store. Grandma decided to stand in line at night, and so all our neighbors did the same thing. So Grandma decided to go home and have me sleep there with the rest of the kids and the grown-ups too, because they would watch me. And being only 6 years old, I was always so excited to sleep under the stars and to be out in the open with everybody, But that was worth it to me, because anything I could do to please my grandmother was very pleasing to me. I was very thrilled to come home with a bag of poi from my grandma. Anyway, I was raised by her, and I went to community schools in the 3rd grade, and I worked my way up till I finally graduated there in 1953. And I had a hard time finding a good paying job. And if you can believe this, you can check the long ads in 1953 newspapers, but the long ads had good paying jobs, but it also stated that only Japanese were allowed to apply for those jobs. thought that was, wasn't fair, but anyway, that's how it was.
Thank you, Auntie. I wanted to also bring up that you were also partly raised in Kakahulu with your dad, where you visited on weekends, visiting Auntie Lea'ala and Uncle Alvin. Can you share a story about your siblings or time with them?
Yes, I had an older sister. She graduated from Kamehameha in 1949, and my brother was also a member of the school, but he dropped out. But he would have been in class of 51. My sister Lena is, she lived here in Hawaii. She had three children. She's since deceased from lung cancer. And my brother Alvin, who has two daughters, by the way. One of them is here. Yeah, Mele and Michelle. And Alvin and I, as a matter of fact, we went, one Sunday we went to Waikiki, and we went on the reef where we could dive and jump into the ocean. The ocean was so strong, the waves, that I fell in and I couldn't get up. And I held my breath for the longest time. And my brother finally pulled me up and got me up, and I thought I was going to drown. But when I got home, to make a long story short, my grandmother passed away in the hospital that night. And I was telling Carlos the story, and she says, "What did you say, Carlos, that grandmother?"
She went for you.
Did
She went for you.
She went for me. And so that's why I'm still here.
Okay, so as Auntie mentioned, she attended Kamehameha schools from the 3rd grade and graduated in 1953. And many of her classmates are here. So people in class of 53, where are you? Oh, you said it was from Yale. Okay, can I get an ibua from the rest of the Kamehameha school graduates? Ibua! Well, after Auntie graduated, she decided to join the Air Force. Right? So Auntie, can you share us how and why?
Well, yeah, because since I couldn't get a good paying job, and my best friend was Miley Mayoho from Molokai. And I said, Miley, we were by the way in school, and I said, we're going to join the Air Force. What? Yes. Why? I don't know. I said, no, they're going to feed us, they're going to clothe us, they're going to put a roof over our head, and they're going to pay us $80 a month. Wow, that's so much money. Wow, I tell you. So anyway, we joined the Air Force. I went into finance school, and she went into supply school, and she went to Illinois, I went to New York. And it was the best move I ever made, because I got to see America, and I got to see, make new friends, and from all over the world. Well, after my 3 years, I was offered a job to transfer to Europe, but I didn't want to. I wanted to stay in the United States. So I went to work for AT&T, and I heard about their stock plan, and I wanted to know a little bit more about it and join a company that I thought was a good company to work for, and I did that. So I lived in New York for about almost 10 years, and then I moved to California, to Silicon Valley. I didn't know what Silicon Valley was. I know what Silicon was. Anyway, I went there just outside of San Francisco, where they had lots of companies. They had Target, they had Hewlett Packard, and that's why I went to HP. And it was a very family-oriented company, which is very good. And they made sure that supervisors were kind and good supervisors and strong-willed, and took care of their people, and people had problems. We had schools or classes for them to learn how to treat the children who were having a hard time. And so, yes, I did.
Thank you, Auntie. So I wanted to back up to when you and your 4 friends decided to leave New York and your adventure in moving to California.
Yes, we all left the telephone company, AT&T, and the 4 of us, and we decided to took my car and we're driving to California. So we got in the car for our luggage, and I said, okay, here's a kitty pot right here. Everyone put $20 or $25 in, and that's going to pay for all gas and everything. Gas in New York at that time was 19 cents a gallon. We gassed up, and I wanted to get some
Auntie, the
gallons.
telephone was connected to the wall, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take more cans to fill up with gas, but we couldn't do that. It was dangerous, right? But anyway, it took us, we got away back, and we stopped in Texas because we wanted to see cowboys. We wanted to go into the bar and do the dances with the cowboys. we had a nice time coming across country. Okay, and then we got to Silicon Valley, and I worked at 2 companies there, but the most time was spent at Hewlett-Packard. And I noticed too, when I was there, that they were very adamant in their supervision about treating people, how to treat them nicely, and I thought how kind of them to do that. And then I noticed most of the managers there were from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then they hired this man called John Young. You're right. You knew he was related to it. Anyway, he was a wonderful person too. Bill and Dave were very, very nice gentlemen. They were very people-oriented. They just loved helping people throughout the company and being a better person. And that kind of helped me be who I am today. And not only that, but the people I'm now, I'm surrounded by wonderful people at my church. I have a wonderful caregiver in Cuddles. She takes care of me and I take care of her. She drives me at night. I asked her to come and stay with me because, I was by myself. And, I could fall down and nobody know I'm by myself. Why don't you come and stay with me? Because, I might fall down. She said, okay. Well, she's the one that fell down every time. I took her to the doctors 3 times in emergency because she got hurt and she sprained her ankle. She never took me into hospital to take her. But you know what? She makes it up at home. She's a wonderful caregiver. She tells me exactly what I should do or what I should not do, what I should wear or what I should not wear, what I should drink and what I should not drink. She's been a really good person, and I love her, and I love all my church members who are here. I love you guys so much. You make me very happy, and I look forward to seeing you every Sunday. And my friend came all the way from Alaska. Oh, she's a sweetheart, and I just love her. I love you guys so much. Mahalo Care Cool for bringing all you guys and Quach and her family came, and my classmates, and God bless. And my friend Sadie, who I've known since I was in the Air Force. Yes. It's been a long time, I know.
Auntie Sadie, you were one of the members that traveled with her from California, New York to California, right? So much fun. Was it fun? Okay, so like Auntie Pua said, she eventually worked at Hewlett-Packard. She started there in 1962, and she retired in 1991. So it's 29 years. It's amazing. So then Auntie eventually moved back to Hawaii here in 2004 after finally getting her Hawaiian homestead in Princess Kahanu, Manakuli. That took forever, right, Auntie? Yeah. Is there anything you want to share about that process? No? Okay. Okay. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I am one of 12 nieces that Auntie Pua has, and I think I speak for all of us in saying that Auntie Pua is our favorite auntie. She was the one that would travel, like my sister was saying earlier, to see each of us. She would travel to Georgia, to California, to Hilo, and then come here to Oahu to see each of us. And she was a fun auntie. She was the fun auntie that would swim in her underwear just to take us to the beach. Oh my gosh, auntie. Anyway, she's been a loving aunt to each of us, and she went to great lengths to keep our family together. She would bring us nieces that lived away to Hawaii, or take us that lived here to the mainland. She exposed each of us to the world, and even to our culture in many ways. And one of them was through singing, as you could see. She and my grandmother, they loved singing. They sang Hawaiian hymns and songs in church, and they competed in song contests with the Pearl Harbor Hawaiian Civic Club. So today, we honor not only the years, but the countless memories, achievements, and relationships that have defined her incredible life. It is a privilege to celebrate her 90 years, filled with laughter, compassion, generosity, which is a true testament of your spirit that continues to shine brightly. God bless you, Auntie. We love you very much. Now we want to sing to you again, so let's move you over to your cake that Auntie Carlos had arranged for you, so we can sing happy birthday to you.